Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. So on the 4-hour chart, as you can see today, we are going down, which makes sense because yesterday we got to the 1618 resistance level of the first 1-2 setup there for the third wave move up, meaning that the third wave is probably already in, and right now we are in a fourth wave move down. And I do have to say that so far the fourth wave move down looks very bearish because first of all we got to the 0.618 support level and we did not really get any reaction, and second of all the fourth wave move down usually gets to the 0.382 support level or the 50% support level and then it bounces, and right now we are already at the 0.618 and we're not really doing anything. Yeah, I think the much bigger setup here, this much bigger 1-2 setup, is gonna turn into a much bigger ABC structure, which would not really be surprising because I talked about this yesterday. I did say that for now Bitcoin kind of needs to go a bit lower, it needs to test $100,000 and it needs to test the trend line right there on the weekly RSI. So until that happens, I'm not really expecting the market to go, higher because it would not make sense for the market to go higher right now. Each time Bitcoin went down in this cycle, as you can see for example here, it first tested the moving average on the weekly RSI and then only after that, that's when we finally started going up again. And if we do get a bounce after that, hopefully Cardano manages to bottom somewhere in this area between 55 cents and 52 cents. And then after that we're gonna have an ABC down and we could start the third wave. The target for the third wave right now is at about $1.04. Obviously it could overextend, but it doesn't really have to because it's only a small third wave. What we need to do right now is complete a 5-wave move to the upside, which should look like this. These 5 waves need to put us above $1.14, which is the 0.618 resistance level of the previous all-time high, where we got rejected many times in the past. So that's our target for now, but to even get to these levels, we first need to get back above the 200-day moving average and above the bull market support band, and at the end of the day, even if this setup does not turn into a much bigger ABC structure, we are still in a downtrend and we still do not have a 5-wave move to the upside. So if Cardano actually manages to recover right now, a target for a 5th wave would be at, let's say, around 69 cents. That's gonna complete a much bigger first wave. That's also gonna break us out of the downtrend, and then I'm gonna have another support zone on the chart because this is gonna complete a first wave, meaning that we're gonna go down after this and we're gonna need an ABC structure for the second wave move down, and if that support level holds, only after that we can finally get a bounce and get back above the 200-day moving average and above the bull market support band. But again, please do not get your hopes too high because if you look at the RSI, it's already below the moving average right there on the 4-hour, meaning that we're probably gonna drop a bit lower. The last time we dropped below the moving average on the 4-hour chart was in this area, and as you can see after that we got a drop. So for now we kind of need Bitcoin to hit $100,000. The RSI on the weekly is already at about 49. What we need is about 44 or let's say 45, and then we could start going up again. So I still believe that ADA will probably start that bigger C wave to the upside in November because historically Cardano goes up quite a lot in November. However, I do have to say that on the weekly chart there's something bearish going on here. If you look at the bull market support band, it's about to have a cross, which is not a good sign because each time we had a cross, as you can see for example up there, we actually went down after that. So even if we get a cross right now, the best case scenario is that we do something like we did, for example, after the pandemic drop right here in 2020. If you zoom in on what happened over here, we had multiple crosses on the bull market support band, and that was because, we had this huge move to the downside, which was unexpected, and, it was pretty much just because of the pandemic. So what we need to do right now is get a cross, which, it's probably gonna happen next week. I don't think there's any way to avoid it, but after we get that cross, ADA still needs to get a pump and then get another cross and do something like it did, for example, like I said, in 2020. So this should not affect us. We should still go up in November. And if we are not able to go up in November, and if ADA does not manage to complete this ABC structure in the next couple of weeks, and does not get to about 3,050 cents, then I don't think it's gonna be possible to complete a 5-wave move to the upside in this cycle. The worst case scenario is that we just do absolutely nothing, and then at some point in January we get the 3rd wave, and that's gonna be, you know, the top, meaning that the bear market was actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, and this was an A wave right here. Right now we got the B wave, and the bear market is gonna get us the C wave, which is gonna put us at like 13 cents. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.